Hello, good evening and welcome again to my channel. Sorry, I just had to go down this morning to the doctors to have a blood test. Anyway, right, as I said before, welcome again to my channel. I had a bit of a disaster. I literally done an upload last night. And to my horror, some of you guys are saying, look, after a couple of minutes, we're not getting any visual, just audio. I do apologise for that. So I've uploaded it, so take a look at that. It's best to look at that first before you see this one, because the one I'm doing now, I was up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I put a set of strings on it, new strings. Interesting enough, I'll tell you what, let me just show you this. These are strings I put on. You get about three for about 7 or 8 quid, but they're really good. You check them up on they do them on Amazon as well as eBay. Check them out. They're really good. Now, the purpose why I got this, I've seen other. I'm not the first to do it. Other people have done it. They've seen these guitars advertised on Amazon for no money at all, and I don't know, I thought to myself, I don't know, I was kind of put off the idea of getting a sort of cheap guitar. I had some preconceived ideas about it, but I thought, you know what, let me try it out, because I dread to know what I spent on guitars over the years. But I thought, well, what just like myself growing up, what happens if you haven't got no money? You're totally strapped, but you are an up-and-coming musician, a guitarist. You want to basically kind of get an instrument. I was always told to get an acoustic, but a lot of people I've known who wanted to go down that route got a really, because acoustics guitars can be really, the strings could be like have 11s, 12s, 13s on them. If an individual's got soft fingers, that's going to put a lot of people off. So my advice to people, especially women or people with soft hands, go for electric and start on 9s or 8s. Yeah. Because that will, because the initial first impressions is always lasting, and electric guitars are much more easier to learn to play than acoustic. That's my belief, and I hold that. I mean, yes, things have moved on, because I've got an acoustic which has got the same profile as electric guitar, and I put light gauge strings on them, But coming back to this now, okay, right? The whole purpose why I wanted to get this, because it's no point starting out on a guitar, especially if you're a new person starting out playing a guitar. You think, well, I don't want to get a cheap one because it might be badly set up, inferior parts and all sorts of stuff, and then you have to spend probably another £100 or so to take to a luthier to set up. That defeats the object. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I need to get the cheapest guitar out there. And I thought, okay, and it has to be done, fairly quickly. Amazon, I've got an Amazon account. You can get sort of like pretty much next day guaranteed delivery. That's what I opted for. So the cheapest one I found on this. Now, it's supposed to be a no brand, but it's got on here Zach or something, GAK. I didn't know, never heard of them, but I was kind of, I thought, see if anyone else done a review on this guitar. To my surprise, when it came, it's supposed to be, if you look at the link on the description, it's supposed to be a known branded make, but at the same headstock. But when this arrived, it's got that name on it. Now that company, I think they're their shop. I think they started in '92 in Brighton. They gone out of business. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure they've gone out of business. A huge company, British company, based in Brighton. So this, when it came, it's got the same. I've noticed it's got similar guitars, not £75, because the original Zach guitar which was made for them, was £139. This is the same guitar, but I've seen other guitars. It's supposed to have gone out of business, but I've seen other guitars. Tiger. This is the box it came with. You can see that logo, Tiger. The thing came with a sticker on the front of this guitar. Obviously it's aimed at beginners. It says 6 months free lessons. You just scan the QR code and you get free 6 months lessons with it, which is pretty good. My only sort of disappointment, it came in a single box. That's not good. You know, that can easily, because I've seen some of these courier companies, they're reckless. They throw stuff about. How do I know that? Because once upon a time, back in time, I used to work for a company called DPD in between jobs, and I see how they throw boxes around. That's alarming. So, you know, whoever delivered this, what companies came from, it's got probably Tiger, I don't know. It's got 3 different companies on here. But who basically kind of probably, this is surplus, it's probably, you know, liquidated, and they've probably got some cheap stock and whatever. But this was definitely a GAK guitar. Now, if you saw the unboxing, you haven't seen it, please, it's not very long. Have a look at it first, about 16 minutes, 15 minutes, 16 minutes long. I took it out of the box, and it's playable, because the whole point, I wanted to find out, can you get a really cheap guitar which can be excellent for a beginner, somebody totally new who can take it out of the box, tune it up and play it. That was the case with this. It had a generic setup, but it was playable. Everything worked on it. What surprised me, what I found out, that this nut was fantastically cut. You can see how low it, you know, the nut was really cut well. I don't know what it was, it's plastic, but what I done to it, so I said I took it apart, and I said, I'm gonna put some, look at my sort of posting, I put pictures of this guitar, took everything apart to see what it's made of. The cavity is very clean. There's no sort of shielding, a little bit of shielding down here where the potentiometers are, but nothing on the pickups. The trem block, you can see it's a quality, it's quite thick. It's not pot metal. It's a quality kind of trem block. It's got a thin one, but it's the same quality as this. Sometimes you seem like kind of pot metal, kind of really cheap, but it's a thin block, but it's good. Excuse me. I love the way this floated. You just have to touch it. The problem is it's not a push-pull trem. So a little tip, you know, when the early Fenders, they used to come with the screw-on ones, used to come with a spring, what you put inside and then screw it down. Now, I found a couple of small springs. I put it in there. They say it's not flopping about. So when you do it, it's instant. Sorry. I don't know if something went down my throat. Do beg your pardon. So what I did, I took off, I put these strings on it. I only slightly adjusted the truss rod, because it was slightly, it wasn't completely straight, it had a relief in there, but I just turned it a couple of turns, just a tiny bit of relief in there, but I put the action very low. You can see how low it is now. Now the way I've set that up, that's not choking. So I wanted to basically see if this guitar is good enough for somebody who's just started, who ain't got a clue about anything. They don't have to take to a luthier and they can play it straight out of the box. Does this guitar allow the player to achieve that? Yes, 100% yes. Now for the more intermediate players, the more pro players, I had to do this. I thought, okay, without spending any money, because it has to be, I don't want to spend any more than a set of strings and a setup, you know, because that defeats the whole object, because it costs £75. So what I did, when I took the strings off, I made sure I wasn't quite sure the material, it's probably a plastic nut, but I put some graphite pencil stuff in there. There's no binding, no choking. The machine heads, I was concerned about them, but they really work fine. I saw a review, guy said the only fault he found on the guitar was the machine head. These work really well. I put new strings, I've been playing them, stretching them, and it's still in tune. Let me just double check, you know, and with using the whammy bar as well. Okay, so the strings are stretched, so they are in tune. So new strings, slight adjustment on the truss rod to make it almost flat, but not quite. Put some graphite pencil in the nut. I might have adjusted the saddle on the E string and the high under low E string. I probably adjusted the saddles very, very, very slightly, you know, to achieve, you know, a very low action, if you can see that, very, very low action on it, lower than what the generic is, so without choking, so it doesn't choke. Okay. So you want to know if, you know, let me, for example, now it's all set it up. Okay, I'm playing it through the Roland Cube, yeah. So, you know, it's nothing, there's no pedals or nothing like that. It's a battery operated Roland Cube. You've seen it before on the channel, which I've demonstrated for instruments now. So because I don't want to kind of go crazy and have an expensive amplifier, because, you know, I want to make sure that you know how this guitar really sounds, yeah? Because don't forget, somebody on a budget, without trying to mask the sound and putting all these type of effects on it. You could do that later. But all I'll be doing on this is the clean tones, because on the Roland Cube, you've got like a jazz chorus type voicing on that, as well as a kind of Fender Princeton type voicing and a Vox AC30 type of Brit combo type of gritty sound. Those are the three settings I will basically be doing it. Okay. I won't be doing no backing track, because I want you to hear the guitar as is. Okay. Okay, now it's all set up. Okay, so there's no excuses. Okay. This is on the JC Clean, on the neck pickup. Okay, just the guitar. Neck in the middle. Middle and the bridge. And the bridge. just going to basically just play random stuff, starting on the sort of Fender tone. On the Fender tones, yeah. Still keeping it clean, yeah, okay. It's on the bridge still. On the neck. Nothing, the tremolo is just such touch sensitive and it's in control. It's not flopping about like before. Okay. Middle. Now I'm going to try it on the actual bit of boost using the Brit, which is a Vox setting. basically, I am really, really impressed. It kind of made me wonder, because if I was going to take a safe example to make this perfect for me, without spending too much money, the only thing I'll add to it, I bought it, but it's from my other guitar. Where'd I put it? I put it somewhere. Yeah, the string trees, I would change it, because these are not my favourites. They're okay, because sometimes I really do really extreme bends. So it's no kind of ghost tones or wolf tones or sitaring, and it's low. It's no choking out, you know, because the nut is cut really. See, this kind of gets me, because I bought really expensive guitars, and the nut wasn't cut properly. Another thing as well, no fret sprouts. So you're talking about a guitar, £75. It's got roast maple Canadian fretboard, as well as the neck. It's all roasted maple neck, popular body. Can you believe that? Yes, it's got die-cast machine heads. They work fine, you know. So it's great for a modding platform, but you know, the point of buying, I love budget guitars really, because it's a challenge to me to kind of either make them good or sell them on, you know, just to kind of give you contents. I've got, because I ain't got nothing in there to compare it with, apart from another budget guitar, the Jet. It's got the roasted maple neck as well. This neck is slightly better. It's got you know, bone nut, but you're talking about being £300. You know, big difference, yeah. It's got a humbucker in the bridge, you know. This is obviously on the boost. Both got ceramic pickup. It's on the neck, just to give you an example. So you're talking about something, you know, 3 times the price almost, you know, twice as dear. See, so you're talking about 75 quid, you know, £300. If you had your eyes closed, you think, oh, there's nothing much in between them in terms of tone. Yeah. Yeah. So, as a pro, if you're a pro, I'm not a pro, but you know, I'm a sort of like a medium player, but I still do gigs. But if I wanted to sort of be totally 100% of this, I'll change the string trees for roller trees. I won't do nothing else to it, because I've set it up. So a beginner will find it's very easy to play, as well as a middle to a pro. The end. What can I say? So basically, if your guitar went kaput and you said, you know, he's on a stage playing a gig, and I say, here you are, you wouldn't be disappointed, because I've set it up really, really low. It's no choking, you heard it's no buzzing, nothing. Yeah. It stayed in tune. You know, I used a tremolo. Okay. So it was still in tune. Yes. So the trem works. I've put a link down in the description on the Amazon link. We can still get this for £75. Yeah. If you are curious, yeah, would I recommend it? 100%, without a doubt. You know, if you just want it as a modding platform, because I love this mint green colour. Everything about it is a quality body. The QC level is perfect. I couldn't find no faults. Just, you can have a look yourself. No faults whatsoever. Yes, it is roasted maple Canadian on the fretboard as well as the neck. See the neck pocket. No blemishes on the body. Nothing. And I know you probably got guitars worth a couple of £1,000. So have I. And I found fault with them. Not with this. Can you believe that? Amazing. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I've got another video coming up. I don't know if I might do it this weekend. There's another interesting video I've got. And obviously I'm waiting. I've just had a notification from the delivery company that my body is finally going to be delivered today between 3 and 5 p.m. It's Saturday today, the 31st, Friday 31st of October. So thank you for stopping by. Okay, if this brings value, if you know somebody, for example, they're looking for cheap but they want to buy with confidence, based on my experience and stuff, you know, I've got various types of guitars, played for the years. You know, you now you can know you can buy with confidence, and plus they, you know, they give you up to 30 days to try it. If you don't like it, you can send it back. Okay. Am I lucky because I found one with no QC levels? I don't know. Okay, as I looked online just to make sure. Guy had the same guitar and he was complained about the tuning heads. No problems with on the tuning pegs with this one. The nut perfect, the neck was perfect, no QC levels, generic setup, anyone can play it. You know, I've loaded it down. You see how low up I've actually lowered the springs. No choking, no buzzing, no wolfing, no nothing. You know, you couldn't make one for this, for that price. Anyway, all the best. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.